What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's review of the new Netflix original movie, Fatherhood. This film is, of course, directed by Paul Weitz. Now, before we begin, if you like this channel, awesome, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome, hit that like button, as well as commenting below any video to watch, including this one. So Fatherhood is the story of a character named Matt, who of course is played by Kevin Hart. He's an individual that has a wife, they just had a baby, and as these movies do, the wife dies, leaving Kevin Hart's character to raise his daughter by himself, and his daughter's name is Maddie. And we follow the story of not only how difficult that process is, but we also follow the story about how the world events and the people around him cause him to constantly continue to question whether he can raise this kid while doing everything that's possible to keep his job, deal with the grandparents, deal with his friends, and so on and so forth. So it's basically a story about one man's journey to becoming a good father in the process of everything that comes against him. And so, like a lot of these movies, Fatherhood was supposed to release in the theaters, and unfortunately the pandemic happened and they sold to Netflix, which is really interesting because there's a lot of Sony products coming to Netflix, which makes me wonder if Netflix is going to buy Sony at some point, because it seems like a lot of films and their repertoire and stuff like that are coming to, of course, Netflix, but we'll see if that happens or not. And so when you kind of go into this movie and you wonder, is this movie going to be worth my time, with the simple fact that it follows a lot of the similar tropes that you know for these types of films for doing, whether it be like the girlfriend that comes into the mix, you know how that's going to play out, or whether you have the overzealous grandparents who kind of butt heads with the father who's trying to learn. You have the friends that are kind of the goofballs and stuff like that. And then you have, of course, the conclusion, which if you think about it, you know how the story is going to eventually conclude. Does this movie justify having the ability for you to watch another one of these types of movies? And outside of the tropey stuff, which I could, leave here or there, it's just not really, what it is. I will say this movie is actually pretty good for its genre. It's actually a quite entertaining movie, and it's on the basis of Kevin Hart himself. He and his daughter in the movie, the character that is Maddie, pretty much have to carry this entire film with some, people in the kind of supporting cast who kind of come into conflict and come into his, personal interests and stuff like that. And Kevin Hart, in this dramatic role that he's in, like I said, you've seen him in The Upside, does a really nice job. This is a very subdued Kevin Hart. He's, does have some jokes, but they're actually more warm-hearted, and they're more, of him doing a low-key style humor. So he'll make some jokes, or he'll kind of react to the scene, but it's not like when he's screaming like Jumanji or something like that. This is more like if you see what, for instance, what Will Smith will do in like a low-key comedy or something like that. And I just really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed a sense of what Kevin Hart can do, how he can be truly a three-dimensional actor, and his kind of plight and how he's conflicted and how he tries to raise his daughter, and how it's not very conventional in a lot of ways, is a really nice thing to watch. It's similar in nature to like something like Big Daddy in a lot of ways, where I know that movie goes over the top and silly, but the heart of the nature of the kid and the parent, or the kid and the guardian, is something that will make the film either not work or work, and it truly works here. Melody Hurd, who plays Maddie, does a really nice job of just being a kid who wants to know about, her mother who passed away, and conflicts with the father because of how different she was raised, and how she plays off with the chemistry and so on and so forth with the Kevin Hart. It's a really nice pairing together, and that's based off the strong script that is from Dana Stevens and, of course, Paul Weitz. And like I said, in a movie like this, with having Lil Ray Howery in it as well, he has the humor, him and Anthony Carrigan have the humor to kind of make this movie not be so dramatic to the point where you just feel sad and depressed all the time. So they are carrying the load that Kevin Hart would usually carry. So it allows Kevin Hart to do some really dramatic material, allows him to be human, it allows him to be a personable character that you can relate to, especially if you're a single parent who has gone through something like this. And this is what makes Paul Weitz and even Chris Weitz, his brother, do work really well, in this material. If you look at something like About a Boy, they know how to work the single father route, where the father, or the father didn't know he had a kid, are in this immature place and they kind of grow as the movie moves along. And I really like that. I really enjoyed that. That's what I like about this movie, is just the personal material, the personal nature of what Kevin Hart has to go through. And then when, of course, the other Lizzie character, because his wife who died was named Lizzie, comes along, it really helps him grow as a character. And like I said, even having Maddie in this movie, you know, the character Maddie, really helps the film move in a really nice pace and a really nice click as the movie comes to its conclusion. And then, of course, you have Paul Reiser in here, who is always fun to watch. Paul Reiser is one of those actors that could be in any movie, and whether it be Beverly Hills Cop or Aliens or Mad About You or any film that he's in, he brings a kind of fun ambience to the film, and he plays Kevin Hart's manager in this movie. So, but like I said before, the tropes are there, the storytelling aspects, the beat by beats are there. So that is a little bit of a negative thing to this movie, but I think in the end, the casting choices and the nature of how strong the casting is in this movie and how they act in the movie itself it makes the movie rise above the tropey nature of what it is. I think when you see everybody work together and how well they work together, it's a really, really fun movie. I think Paul Weitz does a really nice job of conveying that nature of, you know, a single father with a kid raising in today's society and stuff like that. And it's a beautiful movie. It's, you know, like as always, like I say, the movie's shot really well. It looks really nice, and the music's really nice too. So, but with that said, that's gonna be pretty much my take on Fatherhood. Once again, it's a movie that does have a lot of tropes, but it actually rises above the top thanks to Kevin Hart's performance as well as some of the other actors in this movie. So, with that said, that's my take on Fatherhood. Thank you so much for watching. With that said, with you knowing that's a very tropey film, what is your favorite film in this type of genre? This, you know, single parent with a kid who's raising, so on and so forth. Let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.